folks, and welcome to the final episode of this CARNAGE painting project, Fallen Angel. This was a short series, but most of my projects that involve just painting the figure, most of those are short. The ones that tend to be long are the ones where I do some major modifications to the figure. But let's get right into this. And in case this is your first time watching one of my AAR videos, the purpose of these AAR videos is to help me improve with painting and statue work, repair, that type of stuff. I've been at it for several months. I've made some improvements, but I like to critique and look at what I've done in the past to try to improve on it to get better. So that's the purpose of these videos. I'm going to talk about what I did with this project, what I did wrong, what I could do better in the future. And also, I will be discussing what my plans were and if I was able to execute those plans or not. Let's allow him to spin around one more time, and then I want to stop and we'll talk some more about this project. And let's go ahead and discuss the elephant in the room while he's spinning around one last time. If you've noticed that green wire on, hold on, he's coming around. Let's stop him. I like that shot right there. The green wire, where's my pointer? The green wire back here, that is to hold his tendrils. I think one or two tendrils is being held on by this wire, and also this arm is being held on. And the reason the wire is here is because I haven't decided if I want to glue these tendrils in place or if I want to leave them like they are. So I'm trying to give myself some time to figure that out before I make that move, because if I glue them, it's permanent. Another option is to insert a piece of wire into the tendrils and stick that into the body. But the wire is not permanent, it's only temporary. I know it looks kind of tacky, but I didn't want to rush myself into something that I could not change later on. All right, let's see. Let's talk about, I want to save the base for last. I'm proud of that base. So let's start with the figure. During my preparation and planning video, I had planned on filling this with hot glue. Now, it's been so long, I can't remember where I put the hot glue. I think I put some in the body, and I believe I put some in the legs, and I think I put some in here, into his blade arm. I'd have to go back and check the video, but I think that's where I put it. So that was part of my plan, to fill certain parts of the body, because this stuff, some of this here is thin, and in the future, if I ever drop something, if it does break, at least it won't shatter and fall into pieces. The hot glue will keep it together. Plus, I wanted to give this some weight. A lot of these 3D printed statues are really light, and I just like them to have a little weight to them, so I put the hot glue in there for that. You know what, there's really not too much else I can say about the figure itself. I was able to get a nice effect. I don't know, I think it's showing through. My light's kind of shining, and you might not be able to see it, but let me get a little closer. I think it's, yeah, it's showing up now. You can see in some of the areas here where I was able to do the black wash, I think that's what it's called, to give definition to the muscles. I think that turned out pretty good. I'm getting better at doing that. I also did it, well, actually I did it over the entire figure, and I think it brought out a lot of definition and detail in it. I really like doing that. It's just hard sometimes depending on the figure I'm working with. And yeah, okay, it's showing up. The eyes, I wanted to have kind of like a yellow glow around the eyes. I need to work on that. And it's all about brush control, using just enough paint on the brush so that you don't have too much. And I'm still trying to improve on that area. If I ever got good enough to use an airbrush, that would help a lot in areas like that where you just want to kind of gradually fade one paint into the other paint. But that's something for the future. I'm still a brush man for now. Let me see. What else is here? All right, let's spin him around a little bit, see what else we can see before we get down to that base. Okay. It was a little, I don't want to say hard, but I was trying to find a good spot to make a hole in this blade arm so that I could fill it with the hot glue. And I'm not going to take it off because, again, the wire is holding it in place, but I did find a spot right under here that's inconspicuous. That's probably, hold on, let's spin it around. It's probably not visible unless someone is looking for it. And that was the whole idea. Yeah, it's somewhere under here. So unless you're looking at it and real close up, you won't see it. So I was successful with that. I hate putting a hole into a figure and then it's visible. Now let's talk about, let me zoom in again. I'm on this tripod, so it's really hard trying to maneuver my camera. I hope that's showing up. Not sure if the, hold on, let's see. Go back the other way. That's it right there. Stop. All right, and this is an area I still need to work on, filling these gaps in between the parts. Right there you can see the small gap between the butt and his leg. I was going to put some epoxy there, and you know what, to be honest, I'm not sure if I glued this leg on. Hold on, let me see. It's been so long since I did that part, I can't remember. Okay, stop. I think what I did was this. I think I glued this arm and one of the legs. I can't remember which one. You know what? It's not important anyway. The point is, I have to work on filling in these gaps with epoxy. Even if I glue it on or don't glue it on, that's still something I have to work on. So you will notice some gaps also in where the head, is that visible? Nope, it's not. Stop, stop, come back. No, come back, this way. There we go, stop. I think my batteries are going out. Hold on, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. And my music has stopped, so that tells me I need to wrap up this video. It's getting kind of long. All right, just wanted to point this out. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a seam, and I keep saying gap. I meant to say seam. There's a seam here where the head connects to the body. That's another area where I could have put some epoxy, but this comes with two heads. So if I did use the epoxy, I would have to shape it so that both heads would be able to be inserted into the body. And I've done that in the past, but it's not an easy task. So I don't think I will do it at all with this one. Let me see. What else? And I don't know. Let me spin him around some. Now this was not part of my pre-planning. This wasn't planned at all, and I don't know if it's visible, but this head had some broken teeth. That's because I had dropped it and I tried to make some more teeth for it. I stuck a piece of epoxy inside the mouth and just tried to shape some teeth. Don't know how well that turned out. Let's zoom in and see. And it's really not noticeable. So I guess I did an okay job on it. And that's all part of learning to work with these figures and how to fix them and repair them. Let me see what else we got here. I think that's it for the figure. I'll be right back and we'll talk about the base. And let's start at the back side. If you know how I feel about bases, you know that I don't care for gray bases or black bases. But in this case, I did not want to paint this a color that would contrast too much with the angel here. So I decided to go ahead and color this one gray. It is a darker gray, but there's not a whole lot of contrast, and that's what I was looking for. Now this head here, I don't like to put my extra heads and pieces in a box and throw it in storage. So I'm trying to develop a way where I can display those, especially the heads. Now maybe the arms are a different story, but the heads, I want to display those with the figure, with the statue. And this is not the best option, but it's all I could come up with. Hold on, that's not barely visible. I'll be right back. All right, that's better. And this is the best option I could come up with. What I did was I drilled a hole into this wooden plaque, put some hot glue here, that's what this is, and then I painted this black to simulate the symbiote. Don't know how well it came off, but that was the intent. And this, it is removable, and hopefully the other head will fit in there just like this one does. And let's show this off a little bit. Now this is the transition head. All right, so much for that. All right, let me spin him around and I'll be back. And I will be talking about the base briefly, and then I will be calling this a wrap. As for the angel, again, I did not want this to be just the normal gray that you see on a lot of bases. It is a very light shade of gray, and I wanted to add a little extra something to it, and that is what this is. This is supposed to be, I'm sure we've all seen the headstones and monuments and graveyards where they've been there for a long time and they have this green moss type stuff all over them. That's what this is supposed to be. I did a lot of research on monuments and gravestones, and I noticed that a lot of them have this stuff on there, so I wanted to try to do that with this. I forgot to mention, now this is not permanently attached to the base. This is not glued on. I can take him off if I have to. Maybe I'll do a follow-up on this at some point and let everybody know what I decide to do with the tendrils and that blade arm over there. But for now, I'm going to leave the wire, and I'm going to call this one a wrap, folks. This one is done, and I will be moving on to my next project, and that's going to be that skull right there, or that alien. Where is he? Somewhere right there in the background. He's hiding. So it's going to be one of those. So look for that. And there are a few projects between this one and those. So be looking out for those also. And again, thanks for watching, folks. Thanks for supporting the channel. Bye.